All right, detecting talk of the day, Tuesday, March the 14th. Big snow and rain here, 37 degrees Fahrenheit in Tennessee this morning. Today's talk. Calabash Digger took the Simplex Plus made by Nocta Macro to the beach yesterday, along with that new release from Minelab, the Xterra Pro. And I went over there, and I've looked at some of the comments in his YouTube channel, and I think he's dismissed one person from his channel, okay? For good reason. Now, Nocta Macro, their marketing person, has prided themselves about this simple, they named this machine the Simplex for a reason. Simple. They've been using this word simple with this machine for a number of years now since its release. I've used the Simplex. My use is limited. My buddy up the road here, he's got one. He lives about 25 miles away. Well, what did that video, Calabash, the video he did yesterday, what did it show? From an onlooker, from a new person that's never detected, looking to make a purchase decision, what did that video show? You remember that old phrase, a picture's worth 1,000 words? I used that yesterday in a video. Well, what did that video show? Well, I'm going to give you a little summary here on what that video showed. And some people new to detecting may find my channel, and you may find these comments here helpful to you. The Simplex has an auto ground balance feature, evidently, and it goes beep when the process is done. You've seen Calabash using that process on that salt beach with that Simplex Plus yesterday. He used it multiple times, and you could hear clearly in the camera it was going beep. He even looked at the values on that detector after it went beep, and they were always fairly close. They were no more than 2 apart. And if you go look at the user's manual, and I reviewed the user's manual, it makes a comment about that in the user's manual for the Simplex Plus. So, the machine goes beep. A beginner buys that machine, takes it to the beach, bob the coal, and it goes beep. And maybe they don't like what they get when they sweep it, so they do it again, and it goes beep, and they look down, and they see the ground balance readings being real close together, no more than 2 apart. Well, you seen the performance that machine offered yesterday using the auto ground balance feature? Well, I find it strange. Why won't that machine auto ground balance on that beach, in the beach program? The Xterra Pro does. It's not multi-frequency. The Legend evidently balances on that beach. The Equinox 600, 800, 900, 700, it'll balance on that beach. The Manticore, the DS2. Is there a salt beach in the world that Simplex will actually auto ground balance to correctly and run stable? That's a question. I'd like to see somebody do that, please. I mean, it is supposed to be a simple machine. But why won't the auto ground balance work on that salt beach? Oh, dial it to 0. Yeah, well, I'm going to refer you all to a YouTube poster, Gigmaster. He had the Simplex at the beach. He's got a video up some time ago. I've looked at that video this morning. And, he ran into the same problem. He's getting like a 2.3 in the window on that machine after he ground balanced it, and it went beep. But the machine was unstable. And he even goes, oh, well, I've got special instructions from the manufacturer. Oh, well, this is how you set this machine up. Well, why won't the machine ground balance on the beach? It's be sort of like this. You get a VLF metal detector. Let's say you took it to some highly mineralized dirt. Well, if you took it to highly mineralized dirt and it wouldn't ground balance, well, wouldn't that make you suspicious of the machine? Like, well, if it won't ground balance, what else won't this thing do right? I mean, that's sort of how I look at this. The Simplex doesn't seem to have a problem balancing on soil. At least when I used one, it didn't. And my buddy, he's never commented or complained about it. You know, this simplex machine has sort of been in a class by itself. You know, there's not really been a lot of comparison videos done with it because of the price. And, you know, you get all these people out there, you know, well, you got to do apples to apples comparisons, you know, and the simplex being priced what it was, you know, it was in a league all by itself. Well, not anymore. Not anymore. The Xterra Pro is actually cheaper than the simplex, based on what I've seen, $10. But Calabash, when he went to the beach with the Xterra Pro, you see how he operated the machine? By the call, started sweeping it around, he quiet as a mouse. Even with the water coming over that call. When you heard what that simplex did, that didn't sound too good. So yeah, it's that video was very telling, you know. And that simplex is updatable, but I guess maybe Dr. Macro can't make it auto ground balance on a beach. I mean, I look at it like this. Now, I've read a lot of things in the last 10 years about metal detectors. Even some about pulse induction metal detectors. But to me, if a VLF metal detector won't ground balance over Calabash's wet salt beach right there in North Carolina in the United States of America, if it won't balance there, will it balance anywhere on a wet salt beach? I don't know the answer to that question, but I would be awfully suspicious that the answer would be no. Anywhere in Florida would it auto ground balance on a wet salt beach? I doubt it. Doubt it seriously. But, you know, somebody can prove me wrong, you know, I guess. Get your camera and go show me. So anyway, you know, he does the best he can do, you know. And, you know, like I said, that is the simplex. Supposed to be simple. Well, looks like to me it was the Xterra Pro that was the simple one. And I'm not making this up. That's what I seen. That's my honest opinion. And I tried to pretend I was a beginner watching that machine. And, you know, and this Gig Master, you know, if you go watch his video, which I find it sort of, this is fascinating. This gentleman's not a beginner beach hunter. And he's got this machine out there on the beach. Oh, he's got a nickel and dime laying on top of the sand, holding a call. Well, I'm getting it at 5 inches, boys. I'm getting them at 5 inches. Well, that don't tell us anything. He didn't bury anything, I don't believe, in that video. I mean, if you're going to take the machine out there, you know, it's like, well, give us the real scoop. I don't even know what he was doing out there with that machine. If he wasn't going to bury a nickel in the sand, he had the nickel there. It ain't like he didn't have a nickel. And he had a dime. He could have buried them both. I don't care if he buried them at 4 inches. But you can't hold a call up over the top of the sand with a target sitting on top of the wet salt sand and draw any kind of real conclusion. I guess you could say, oh, well, it'll detect something on top of the sand, boys and girls. I guess you can draw that conclusion, but that's not why you buy a metal detector, is it? To find stuff laying on top of the wet salt sand. You could, but that's not why you buy it. Well, anyway, that's the detecting talk of the day. I hope y'all enjoyed.